Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. I'm on the brink of yawning right now. I can feel it. I'm going to try to stave it off for everyone's
Don't even
sake.
mention it, because now I want to yawn.
All right, look, we're tasting blind. Oh, if you're new here.
Oh, hi.
Erin's a social sipper.
I am.
I'm a whiskey nerd. We don't know what we're drinking. This has been drawn at random from a pool of a bunch of samples. And here's a sample it came out of. On the bottom, close your eyes. On the bottom, there's a number, and that number corresponds with an online key that tells us the price and the heading, and then we got to click a little drop down and it tells us what we're drinking. And what this does, this whole process that, we could just taste things, but doing it blind like this lets us give you a really honest opinion, separate and apart from labels or hyper bias.
And it also kind of not evens the playing field, but you're a whiskey nerd.
Yeah.
You are into whiskey, you love it, you talk about it, you nerd out on it, and I'm just here for fun.
Yeah.
So I drink whiskey, I enjoy whiskey, but I don't know much about it. So if we knew what we were drinking, he would have all these things to say, I would feel very inadequate.
Right.
So this kind of makes everything equal.
Yeah. And you're here in the lounge in our home with us, drinking
welcome.
some whiskey. So thanks for joining us, friend. It's going to get into this nose and see what we're smelling here. We know it's in a amber sample jar from our single sample pool, which means it is potentially international or potentially an American single malt or something like that.
It's not a bourbon or a rye.
Right. That's all we know. Color's great. Like, it's like, I would call this golden almost.
Okay.
Like a golden hue to this. Wouldn't you?
Let's smell it. Oh, interesting.
That is really interesting.
It doesn't smell sweet, but it...
Tempered sweetness. Real tempered.
I don't know, though. What am I smelling? It kind of reminds me of an Irish.
It does.
It smells like...
It reminds me of an Irish.
Irishes.
Can you say that on the internet in 2025?
Irish whiskeys.
This is going to be an Erin note. It smells like sweet cardboard.
I mean, I kind of dig it.
Like real sweet.
Yeah.
If cardboard could be really sweet, and I'm assuming that's just that cardboard note is like a little bit of the barrel influence that we're getting on it, but it just smells really sweet.
I can see that.
A little bit in that like white grape pear type of zone for a fruity sweetness.
Pear for sure, yeah.
Tempered down though.
It's very tempered down. All right, I'm tempted to drink
and a little bit of like black pepper too on the nose, which really makes me think Irish.
Black pepper or white pepper? Have you ever had white pepper?
No.
Oh. We used to have some. I think
we have them in the spice drawer. I was making some spaghetti sauce earlier and I saw the white pepper in the drawer.
You should try it.
Somebody told me,
for fun.
I don't know what it tastes like. Somebody told me white pepper smells like a corpse.
I don't think so, but I mean, you could go smell it in our spice drawer and find out. But let's drink this whiskey.
Stay tuned. Join our Patreon for after the episode content.
My gosh.
No, we're not smelling white pepper and making videos about that. Let's get this on the palate. That's very subtle.
Yeah.
A little creamy. I'll give it that. Being seemingly at the absolute rock bottom end of proof.
There's not much to it.
Like, this has got to be 40% ABV.
It's like flavored water.
I would be stunned if this were more than 40% ABV. This feels rock bottom qualifications for whiskey. That's not I realized when I was saying that sounds like a incredibly derogatory statement to say about this glass. It's enjoyable.
You're saying it meets the minimum requirements to be qualified as whiskey.
For ABV.
ABV.
Yeah. It feels absolute ground floor
it does.
Whiskey.
As far as proof or ABV is concerned. This is good. It's not probably for me. There's like just not a lot there.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on.
Honestly, I'd rather drink water or whiskey, and this is like in between.
Well, this is whiskey.
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like the in between of water and whiskey.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go just okay on this.
It definitely does feel like whiskey that has had a considerable amount of water added to it to get it down to this ABV. I'm getting a kind of a vanilla bean note.
Okay.
I'm getting an oaky, black peppery type of note on the finish. I'm getting that kind of like pear, white grape. All the nose stuff is translating to the palate. Like we're tracking up there.
It's
just
subtle.
So subtle, soft, easygoing. I would almost immediately my mind goes to like saying as subtle as this is and as easy and approachable as it is, no smokiness, no funkiness. My mind says
there's no peat.
It's not really malty. My mind says this would be a great beginner whiskey. However, there's just not much flavor there, and there's a lack of there is a sweetness there, but it's a very tempered sweetness. And I feel like if you're somebody that's kind of newer to whiskey and you want to start with something that's a little easygoing, you're going to want more sweetness in this.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you're the type of person that really steers clear of sweet. And you tend to not love sweet as much as like a tempered sweetness.
Yeah.
And even you're not loving
But I need a little sweetness in my life.
Yeah.
Like there's a balance to be had. And I feel like this is almost devoid of sweetness. It's still there barely, but it's a little too unsweet for me.
It's devoid of almost everything.
Like I would pick sweet tea over unsweet tea, and this is like the unsweet tea version of whatever type of whiskey this is.
Unsweet tea has way more flavor than this. I've drink tea both ways. Mm-hmm. Unsweet tea has way more flavor than this.
Okay. Well, let's find out what it is.
Now that you say it, it feels like it's got kind of a tea note. I would hope that this is like a 12-year, 10-year Scotch or Irish. Feels more Irish.
It feels more Irish to me.
Just
Scotch, I get more fruit.
40% ABV, easygoing. I would hope that something like this would be like no more than $50. That's what I want it to be.
Well,
$15 in our key price.
Hope no more. It is $40.
Okay. Spot on.
Yeah, like that's
spot on.
For what I tasted, I'm not shook at that. I am gonna stay just okay. It's not.
I didn't give my rating before price, which is a contingent. Like that's our thing.
Yeah.
I was just okay before that. I'm staying just okay after that. The value's fair. It's just $40 spent on something that you're not particularly thrilled about is $40 wasted. Just because this is spot on value for $40 doesn't mean we need to go spend our $40 on it.
Right. So for us, just okay is we like it enough. Like it's not bad. Maybe we'll get a pour of it at a bar, but we're not going to go out and spend our money on it. Or if someone gives us a sample of it, we'll drink it. That's fine, but we don't need a bottle of it.
All right, what are we drinking?
Okay, we are drinking Powers 3 Swallow, and it is 40% ABV.
And it is Irish.
Powers is Irish. Single pot still Irish whiskey, and this is thanks to Andrew Black. So
Andrew, thank you so much.
Andrew Beck. I'm sorry, not Black. I misread.
Aaron can't even read. This whiskey's got her discombobulated.
Andrew Beck.
Okay, Powers 3 Swallows. Yeah, I've seen this on the shelf before. $40, low cost, decent value for what it is.
Freudian slip there.
No, it values spot on.
If you are looking for a lower proof entry into Irish whiskey, I would say this might be a good place just to see if you even kind of like Irish, if you've never had it. But I've had Irish that is a little more flavorful and a little sweeter too.
I want to piggyback immediately on that. Well, a Green Spot's way sweeter and better than this.
But I'm saying at this price point.
Yeah, Green Spot's $50-$60, 70 maybe in some markets.
Okay, but 40 and 70, that's not the same.
Vastly different. I'm not arguing there. I want to piggyback on what you just said. This is a good starter Irish pour, and I do believe that's true if you tend to like lower ABV or lower proof stuff. The reason I was just okay on this isn't because there's anything offensive in the glass. It's not about what is there. It's about what's missing in this glass. And this glass is missing sweetness. It's missing saturation of flavor. It's missing proof. It's missing finish. It's so easy and approachable. And if I want something really easy and approachable like this, I'm not putting Powers 3 Swallows in a glass like this. I'm grabbing a rocks glass like this. I'm pouring a few ounces neat, sipping on it while I'm making dinner or something like that, or watching a game or a movie. I don't reach for this. I'm reaching for like a 90 proof bourbon like Buffalo Trace or Four Roses Small Batch or something like that.
Because you like more sweetness.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or I'm reaching for like a Glenlivet. Glenlivet 12 has so much more flavor than this. That's a Scotch. Or I'm reaching for a Green Spot, which is 40%, which has way more sweetness than this.
If there's someone who's new to whiskey in general, bourbons, rye, anything, and you want to see if you even could like Irish, I think this could be a good test.
But if you like more proof, skip the 3 Swallows and go up to Powers John's Lane.
If you're new to bourbon or if you're new to whiskey at all, you might not know if you like proof. I'm saying just to get acclimated to the flavors.
That's true.
I just said if you're new. If you're new to whiskey, you don't know if you like
If you're completely new, yes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Right. But if you have any background in whiskey whatsoever, if you like a 90 proof bourbon and that's like bordering on too strong for you, like heat wise, this would be a great introduction to Scotch. However, Irish, sorry. If you could drink 100 proof bourbon, like a bottle and bond, something or another, and that's totally fine for you neat, skip this, go to Powers John's Lane. Pay the extra money. Powers John's Lane is
it's very good.
$70. It's almost double the price. It's 5 times better than this.
I will honestly agree with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, hey, high five.
We picked up on that. It was Irish.
40% Irish.
I was the first one to mention that it gives me Irish vibes.
I was thinking it, but you read my mail.
I feel like I might be a better whiskey taster than I think I am.
Than you give yourself credit for, yeah. I mean, the comments are flooded with it lately. You're just getting so much praise and love for your whiskey tasting prowess.
I think I'm just on right now. I'm just on.
She's in her zone.
I'm in my zone, but
what era are you in?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not a Swiftie, so I don't know about the eras.
I don't even know that was a Swiftie thing. So
yeah, she did her whole eras tour.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know. I think it has to do with her albums.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, if you like the way we do things around here, Tasting Blind, doing this, I was trying to make a tie-in with albums and eras and stuff. I didn't have it.
It's fine.
Like the video if you liked it. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you like honest, unbiased content like this. This is what we do. And you can check out our Patreon in the video description below. At the video description below. However you want to get there.
Don't add us.
Yeah, don't add us, but check the video description below. Join our Patreon. And then through Patreon, you can get plugged in with our Discord. And then you can add us so we know you're talking to us. And we can talk back to you. Because that's what happens on Discord. We get to have a two-way conversation. Also, people are sharing samples. We have a whole international section over there. People are talking about all different kinds of malt whiskeys and international whiskeys and stuff. It's a ton of fun. Also, we release our barrel picks. We did do an Irish barrel pick that is way better than this from Clonakilty.
Yeah.
I think we locked in on 2 barrels. We got to try to figure out how to get them into the States. It's a whole thing. We got some awesome whiskey coming though. But yeah, check out our Patreon if you want to get plugged into our barrel picks, and you can get plugged in on merchandise, glassware, all sorts of stuff over at stuffandwhiskey.com. So
yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Be good to each other, and until next time,
cheers. Yeah, you can't say you're not you are a social sipper. That is a true statement.
I think honestly,
but you're a social sipper that's drank probably over 1,000 whiskeys blind.
It's because of the exposure, not because I'm actually good.
Yeah.
It's only because I've been exposed to so much, not because I'm any good at it.